Hello, I'm Debbie Jansen, and I'm not really thrilled about doing these videos. Bet you didn't expect to hear that, huh? But if you know me, you know these videos are hard for me. I get nervous, and I've always been advised that they have to go fast, and I'm the kind of person that I like to give you all the information you need so that you can be successful, and that doesn't come easily in a 30-second or 3-minute video. But I would much rather go to your house and sit with you and have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and just sit and talk out all the ins and outs of your life and all the problems you're having and how to fix them, and give you advice or plans or programs or whatever you need to make your life better. But the problem for all of us is that America is changing, and it's changing very fast. And we're being bombarded by things, information, and people talking on videos. And you don't know if it's the truth or not. I cannot tell you how many people have called me crying or telling me that they're depressed because they don't know the truth anymore. They don't know what to really believe. And it's sad. I get it. I understand. If you haven't studied like I have, or if you're not weird like me, and that and I'm really not weird, but I am different from a lot of people. I don't believe anything until I ask the questions that my dad used to ask me. I would spout off something and he would look at me real serious and say, "How do you know?" "Well, because so-and-so said." "How do you know, Debbie? Do you know them? Did you grow up with them? Did you learn from them? Did you take classes from them?" "Well, no, Dad, but they said." "Debbie, how do you know?" And he was a great teacher of critical thinking and how to research and how to get to the bottom of stuff and how to look at situations just a little bit quirky and different and turn them all around and find the hidden lies. And there's a lot of lies out there, folks. You cannot live by a lie. Living with any lies in your life is like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall. Think about that illustration for a minute. You got a hammer, you got a nail, and you got a bowl of Jell-O. Can you nail it to the wall? No. And that's what a lie does. It messes everything up. It changes your attitude. It changes your circumstances. It changes what you go after and what you plan to do. And it's like, remember when, well, you may not remember if you're younger, but when I was in school, we had, in a math class, we had to show how we got the answer as well as the answer. We couldn't just put the answer down. So if we were adding up 14 apples and 6 apples, and that equals 20 apples, we had to show how we did that. And when you got to long division or any of those, you had to show all the process till you got to it. You know why? Because the teacher knew if you didn't have the first fact right, everything else was going to be wrong. And that's exactly what life is. If you don't get your first facts or your supporting facts right, any decision that you make on that is going to be wrong. And that's where we're at in America. We're believing people because they spout something. And you can't do that. You have to do your research. I was talking to my son the other day, who does a lot of things online, and I said, "Ken, it seems like the top link, like if you put something in Google and you say, I want to know about swing sets, okay? the first thing that comes up is not always the best swing set. The first link that comes up is the one that's been clicked on the most. And you have to search down through all the pages and read all the reviews, and you might find the best swing set on page 5. Well, that's a lot of research. That's a lot of going through all the bad stuff to finally get the truth. Well, imagine if you say, best candidate in Ohio for governor. Which is going to come up? Maybe the best one, but maybe not. Maybe a fake one, or maybe the opposing person who's not the best, but they have more acceptable talking points for the elite crowd. And so they come up first. And if you believe them, you've believed a lie. Now, that's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about. But one more thing is, this is kind of my introduction video, so let me give you this part too. When I was writing for Today's Christian Woman, and when I was doing proposals for major publishing companies, everyone said, pick one thing, and write on that and do not change. Don't go into any other areas, pick one thing. And I always had a problem with that. Why? Well, that will make you the expert in that area. But nobody is going to have a good life ever if you're only an expert in one area. You have a whole big life to live, and you need information in all of it. And if you don't have information in all areas of your life, you're going to mess up. And you're going to have problems, and your life is not going to be as good. Yeah, but we want to help you make the most money. So let me tell you, I am not on these videos for the money. I'm on these videos to help you. I want you to be able to discern and to find out and to research truth for your life. You are not me. But there is such a thing as absolute truth, and there are truths that we can see weaving through different areas of our life that if we pull them together, if we understand all the areas of our life will be better. So here's what we're going to do. Most people think that this is how they need to look at their life. Okay, so they have all the areas, and these are just a few areas. You know, I could probably fill up a whole page with this. But all the areas are not connected. They're individual. So here's your faith, and you're going to be good in your faith. And here's your marriage, and you'll be good in your marriage, but in a different way because it's not your faith. This is the lie. This is the horrible part. You cannot split your life up into little boxes because you want to know, let me get my pen, you want to know how life really is? I'll show you. My pen's not as dark as I wanted, but you get the idea. Everything is connected. And you have parts of truth weaving through all your life and outside of your life and back into your life. And if you don't make those connections, you will make mistakes. And as we go through these videos and the series that I'm going to do, there's going to be times I'll talk about parenting, because parenting relates to your marriage, it relates to society, it relates to the government, it relates to your faith, it relates to the future. You're building the future. So we kind of have to talk about all of that. It relates to how your kids do in school, how they relate to other people, and how those people are going to relate back to them. We're all over the place. I'll give the biggest example is right now And I will try not to cry because I have had moments of prayer and moments before I go to bed where I am just overwhelmed with what happened to the kids in Texas. Should have never happened. Should have never happened. But of course, what did the government do? And a lot of elites and people who believe that, they jumped again on the fact that we got to get rid of guns. Really? Really? The gun killed those people? The consequences of pulling the trigger on the gun killed those children and those teachers. But the person that killed them was the boy holding the gun. And he did it with probably 20 things behind him. 20 different people, 20 different circumstances, maybe 100, maybe 200. We don't know. But it was all of the situations and the crazy thinking and the problems. Just call him just mental is not a good definition. There's a lot of things going on in America that causes us to breed evil people. And until we talk about that, you can take away every gun in America. You can go in every home, take it away so no guns exist anywhere in America. And you'll still have murder. You'll still have murder with a knife. You'll still have murder with hammers. Do you know, in fact, if you go on the government website, and here I go, I'm doing something on, but if you go on the government website, that hammers kill more people in a year than guns do? Now, that may have changed this year because a lot of people in government are promoting murders. They're not doing what needs to be done to solve them or to stop them. And so we have a lot of murders, but the last time I researched it, hammers killed more. So should we get rid of all the hammers? Can you see us trying to use the back of our shoe to build a house? It is not the weapon. It is the evil person. And until we figure out what makes evil people, we will never solve these crime issues. And evil will always be with us because some people just give in to that, but it doesn't have to be. And we can take it down to a manageable level. We need to grow better people. And so because of that, I am now working on a book that I have the bones of it. I just have to fill it out. 200 reasons for violence in America. Each reason is only going to get one, maybe 1.5 pages. But I am going to go through and probably hurt a lot of people's feelings. But I'm sorry when you're doing things that cause people who are susceptible to that to become evil. It needs to be curbed. It needs to be stopped. So, I hope you will come back and join me. I will be as kind as possible in discussing the issues. Let me tell you, I'm going to close with this. It's not easy for us to talk about all of these different issues and the way they interconnect. I did a thing with my kids when they were young and until maybe mid-teens where we could call a truth time. And I would go in a room with them and I would sit down and they were allowed to say anything they wanted about me or the situation or what was going on. They couldn't say they hate me, but they could give me their honest opinion of why they were so upset. That was hard because I promised them that I would not roll my eyes or, oh, brother, or wait a minute, let me say that. No, none of that. I had to sit there very quietly and patiently and take whatever they said. You know what I did? Why I did that? Because I can't help them unless I know where they are. And there was a lot of times when I walked out of the room and I hugged him and I said, you know what? I didn't know you felt that way. I didn't know that particular thing was hurting you. And I promise you, I will change. That's hard. But it was doing that that built respect between my child and me. It was doing that that helped them to see that life can make sense. It was doing that that helped all three of them to be the kind of people that stood up, squared their shoulders, and took the truth when they had to. They were better people because of that, and so was I. I hope that you will grab a cup of coffee and come back. There's a little button here on YouTube. Push it for subscribe and come back. And we're going to talk about a lot of different issues. My next video is going to be on how to tell when someone is giving you a lie. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a wonderful day.